Has Trump's tariff war fueled the fire of deglobalization? Imagine a world where every country had extended a hand to each other, sharing trade, technology, resources, and talent. But now it seems like this entire global setup is shifting into reverse. The open windows of globalization are beginning to shut, and the one name that repeatedly stands out behind this reversal is Donald Trump. A president who not only changed policies, but also challenged the entire global mindset. And now, with his return to power, the big question is, has Trump really ignited the fire of deglobalization? And if yes, who will bear the biggest brunt of it? Today, we'll dive deep into this critical issue. But before we begin, if you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update. So let's begin today's discussion without any delay. Globalization, a concept where countries are interconnected economically, technologically, and culturally. During the 1990s and 2000s, this interconnection grew so rapidly that the entire world began to resemble a global village. Technology from India reached the US, manufacturing from China went to Europe, and funding from Europe reached as far as Africa. But now, the picture is changing. Deglobalization, the reversal of globalization, is slowly becoming a reality. It's not just about the decline in economic flows, but also a collapse of trust, cooperation, and global unity. The foundation of this shift was laid in 2016 when Donald Trump first became the President of the United States. From the campaign stage itself, he declared the slogan, "America First," warning foreign companies and nations that America would now prioritize its own interests. He claimed that countries like China, India, and Canada were taking undue advantage of America's generous trade policies, and it was time to set the record straight. Trump's tough posture sent ripples across global platforms. In 2016, the United Kingdom also took a major step against globalization, Brexit, the decision to leave the European Union. Half of Britain's population openly stated that they wanted to make their own trade decisions independently. This was not just a political move, it was an ideological shift, reflecting growing dissatisfaction with the global system. Cracks had begun to appear in the fabric of global cooperation. Now, following his 2024 return, Donald Trump has become even more aggressive. He has openly sounded the trumpet of economic nationalism. America First is no longer just a slogan, it has become a full-fledged policy. With high tariffs, taxes on imports, Trump has delivered a shock to countries around the world. China, India, the European Union, no one has been spared. This policy is not just a blow to global trade, but also a warning sign for international cooperation and partnerships. Trump believes that imposing heavy tariffs on foreign goods is essential to protect American industries. In February 2025, he introduced a 10% baseline tariff on imports from all countries, which he increased to 20% in March. In April 2025, he announced the Reciprocal Tariff policy, slapping 26% tariff on India and 34% on China. This wasn't just an economic move, it was a strategy to exert political pressure. The clear intent was to make America the world's strongest economy once again. The impact of these tariffs was immediate. Tariffs on Chinese imports rose to 54%, prompting China to retaliate by imposing 34% tariffs on US goods. Canada, Mexico, Brazil, and the European Union also followed suit, imposing their own tariffs on the United States. India, too, had to develop a counter-strategy and is currently negotiating tariff reductions with the US. This tariff war not only strained trade relations but also reshaped global diplomatic dynamics. These tariffs have shaken the very foundation of global trade. For American companies, Importing goods from China has now become expensive. As a result, prices of Chinese electronics in the US have increased by 15 to 20%, directly impacting consumers. The average American is bearing the brunt of this trade war, with inflation hitting hard across sectors. Businesses are facing uncertainty, and investors are growing increasingly cautious. But the impact of this era of deglobalization isn't limited to just trade. Global supply chains are being heavily disrupted. Companies are moving away from China, looking for cheaper alternatives. In fact, American companies imported 30% less from China in 2024 compared to previous years. This signals a massive reshuffling of the global supply chain, causing economic strain in some countries, while creating new opportunities for others. And when supply chains falter, stock markets tremble. After the tariff announcement in April 2025, global stock markets plunged across continents. Even the UK hasn't remained untouched by the impact of Trump's tariff policy. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer recently hinted that globalization, as we've known it for decades, is over. The UK is now prioritizing friendshoring, meaning it will trade only with trusted partner countries. This isn't just a political statement, but a sign of a strategic shift that could reshape the direction of global trade. Starmer's approach gives a sort of official recognition to deglobalization. He is expected to soon announce protectionist policies to safeguard British industries. If that happens, it would be yet another major indication of global trade contraction. It might also influence other countries to adopt similar strategies, potentially reshaping the entire global trade framework. So where does India stand in this global upheaval? Trump's tariff war presents both opportunities and challenges for India. In 2024, India's exports reached $778 billion, with the US, EU, and China being its top markets. But with these markets now shifting toward protectionism, India's foreign trade strategy may face major pressure and require a smart recalibration. Due to the 26% reciprocal tariff, India's exports of textiles, jewelry, and auto parts to the US could shrink by $2 to $3 billion. Additionally, reduced demand from the US in China has also led to a drop in the demand for Indian exports like steel and chemicals. This may impact millions of jobs and increase pressure on small businesses. But amidst the challenges, there's also a ray of hope. As foreign companies gradually move out of China, India is emerging as an attractive alternative. In 2024 alone, India attracted $15 billion in additional foreign investment, especially in mobile manufacturing and textile sectors. India is now preparing to take on a new role in the global supply chain. While Trump's policies may be fueling the fire of deglobalization, globalization itself is not entirely over. The world is still interconnected through the internet, cloud technology, digital finance, and multinational businesses. However, it's evident that every country is now more actively pursuing self-reliance and revised national strategies. If this trend continues in the coming times, the day is not far when every country will want to secure itself within its own borders. This would mark the beginning of a new era, digital, protective, and perhaps a bit isolated. But one thing is certain, Donald Trump has permanently altered the course of global trade. And now the world has only two choices. Either it redefines globalization, or each nation retreats into its own shell. The real question now is, which path will India choose?
If our video has taught you something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestions. And yes, if you like our content, Subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every news story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources news from various news agencies, opinion polls, and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.